Hello friends, welcome to this short video explaining the key aspects of preparing for an aptitude exam. And why I'm talking about this, of course, is in the context of the CUET exam. Earlier, the CUSET, which has now been rechristened as CUET, and CUET 2022, I guess you guys know, has become very important because of the fact that all the central universities across the country are now going to take, and a lot of private universities are expected to take their or make their selection criteria on the basis of this exam for the undergraduate courses. So rather than the 12th standard marks, the weightage is completely shifted onto this. This thing, it was a long time coming, but that's a different aspect. वो तो मेरा opinion है. Some people are talking positive about it, some people are talking negative about it, but I guess there's a lot of value in terms of what the new system is trying to create. It's trying to create a level playing field across all boards and all states, etc. Otherwise, it is to be a mess of normalizing and across boards and across universities, across different states, etc. The CB and the national boards, the CBSE or the ICSE board. And as you know, there was a tendency, or there was a political pressure on these boards to actually start giving more and more marks to the 12th standard kids in their board so that they could qualify for these universities. So ये सबको एक shot में resolve करने के लिए this solution has come out, where we are talking about a general test which will test you on 3 parts. Section 1A, which is compulsory, and we have already put out a video on this separately for the pattern of the exam. But very briefly, I'll go through the pattern. Section 1A, which is the language paper, which is compulsory, in which you have to solve 40 questions out of 50 in 45 minutes. Section 1B, which is optional. You take that section only if you want one of those foreign language courses at these universities. And then you go to the domain-specific subjects, where you can choose a maximum of 6 domain-specific papers that you can give based on what you are trying to apply to. And then finally, you've got the aptitude paper, the general aptitude paper, which is 60 minutes. And this is going to be the differentiator in a lot of ways, because this and the comprehension of section 1A, these two are going to be the differentiators, because what we estimate is that in the knowledge domain specific papers, it will be more or less a level playing field, because everybody studied those subjects. So CUET exam 2022 में मेरा strong belief है कि the general aptitude paper, which includes reasoning and numeracy, numerical ability, as well as general awareness, general knowledge, will be a major game changer. And you need to understand a few things. And since I've been training people for aptitude for almost 27-28 years, I passed out of IIM Bangalore myself in 1995. और उसके बाद मैं author हूँ. I'm the author of these books, which have sold millions of copies for the CUET exam, which is the toughest of all aptitude exams. So whether you talk about quantitative aptitude for CUET or the entire series of CUET from McGraw from my side. और मेरी एक book आने वाली है CUET के लिए भी, unfortunately not before the CUET 2022 exam, but after the CUET 2022 exam, we are writing a book on preparation strategies, preparation process, and the resources for CUET, which McGraw is going to publish. August, September में वो book expected है, September या October 2023 के students उसको use कर सकते हैं. But coming back to this exam, ये जो 60 questions का paper है, इसके बारे में first thing you need to understand is 60 minutes, 60 questions out of 75. I hope I'm correct in that. Yeah, 60 questions out of 75 you have to solve. और इसमें सबसे पहले जो मेरा aspect है और मेरा understanding है, first of all, 60 minutes, 60 questions अगर तुमको solve करना है तो 1 question per minute है. So that's the top line. You've got to, I mean, of course, you can't solve, not most people will solve all the questions. And I would estimate, based on my experience, that if you can score somewhere around 40-45 out of 60, that should be a good enough point, or that should be give you a good value in terms of your in terms of the score you want to achieve for getting into the top universities. Because the thumb rule, I mean, again, this exam is parallel. CUET now in India is parallel to what the SAT always has been in the US and international undergraduate programs. You have to get the SAT to join the undergraduate programs at various universities. और SAT का भी पैटर्न वही है, there's some subject test and then there's the general aptitude exam, and I'm quite sure some of you know about the SAT. So this exam is on the same pattern in a lot of ways, but few things that I want to highlight to you. कि एप्टीट्यूड एग्जाम्स में ये टॉप लाइन देख के कि कितने क्वेश्चन है कितने मिनट है, उससे तुम जज कर सकते हो कि किस तरह पेपर आएगा. तो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर टॉप लाइन देखो डिफरेंट एप्टीट्यूड एग्जाम्स का, तो जैसे यूपीएससी का सीसैट एग्जाम है, उसका टॉप लाइन है 80 क्वेश्चन 120 मिनट्स. दैट मीन्स यू गॉट 1.5 मिनट पर क्वेश्चन. एंड इफ यू लुक एट an exam like CAT, yeah, you look at an exam like that, which is where the top line is the maximum. CAT mein you've got currently the pattern is 66 questions 120 minutes, so almost 1.8 minutes per question. that जो XLRA का entrance exam होता है 75 questions 165 minutes, so almost 2.2 minutes per question वहाँ पे timeline रहता है. तो effectively जो thumb rule है is that if your timeline is around 2 minutes per question, more than 1.5 minutes per question, तो वो paper और question quality difficult होता रहता है. But if you look at the other exams, if you look at the easier, there's a breed of aptitude exams जहाँ पे the top line comes back to 1 minute. In fact, earlier exams, even for management entrance like CAT and all, their top line used to be 120 minutes, 180 questions. So 0.45 seconds, 0.4 seconds, 40 seconds per 0.45 minutes or 40 seconds. What am I saying? 0.75 minutes or 0.66 minutes. 40 seconds per question was the timeline, was the top line. And now it's moved to a top line of around 2, because you are not, they want to give you more time per question to check your ability. यहाँ पे क्या होने वाला है? Since the top line is 1 minute per question, you can expect the paper to be typically one of those easier aptitude tests. That means when you go into preparation for any chapter, suppose you're preparing a chapter like time, speed, distance in maths, or you're preparing a chapter like time and work in maths, so you'll get those single 2-line questions which are solvable in 2 or 3 steps. And typically the lower the timeline is, the more of a speed test it becomes. Because होता क्या है कि जो 2 minute timeline वाले questions होते हैं, top line वाले questions papers होते हैं, उन papers में it becomes very difficult. There are questions which are very difficult, require a lot of analysis to solve. तो वहाँ पे competitive advantage, और किसी भी competitive exam में एक major change तुमको समझना चाहिए. You should understand that you were I mean, till last year, people were giving the 12th board exam, and you're giving the 12th board exam, and based on the 12th board exam and the percentage of marks you're getting, you would get a selection or a rejection in universities based on the cutoffs, right? ये pattern था last year तक. Now 12th board exam देने में the competitive element is not there. I mean, it's more like me and the paper. मेरे को question paper मिला, मेरे को question आता है, मैं अगर लिख दूंगा अच्छे से आंसर तो I'll get my marks. But यहाँ पे it's not just in a competitive exam. First of all, you're not just competing against the paper, but you're also competing against the people sitting on left, right, and across the country along with you. So there's nothing to be worried about it. You still control only your paper. You have to control only your attempts in your paper. But what is very important to understand is that you have to be very aware of what kind of numbers will get you to the relative performance index that you need. And मेरा जो thumb rule है, what I've seen in my past, ये exam with a top line of one minute per question will typically require a net score of somewhere between 60 to 75%. If you can hit that net score of 60 to 75% out of the total marks, right? So whatever the marks are, let's forget. I mean, I think CUET में जैसे ये aptitude वाले portion में 60 questions होने वाले हैं. तो 60 questions पे 60% 36 marks है, 75% 45 marks है. तो if you net score 1 mark positive for every correct answer, 0.25 negative for every wrong answer. So if you can hit a net score of between 36 to 45, and that is after the negatives, that means जितना तुमने plus किया, 40 questions सही किए, 6 questions wrong किए, तो तुमको 38.5 मिलेगा score. So if you can get to 36 to 45, you should be in good stead to get to a 98, 99 plus percentile. And once you're there, normally you'll start getting your top colleges and your top calls, good quality colleges. This thing, of course, if you are aiming for the absolute best of the best colleges wise and courses wise, the one in which maximum people are applying, etc. So then in that case, you have to try to target a score of somewhere between 45 to 50 in that exam. So the thumb rules are this, and just like a thumb rule in the exams with 2-minute top lines, is that if you score around 45-50% score in that net score, you are pretty well. I mean, you are in the top 1% people, 1.5% people of the national test takers. If you score around 45-50% marks out of 100, you score 45 marks net in an exam which has a top line of 2 minutes per question. तो उसमें वो thumb rule रहता है. 1 minute per question में thumb rule होता है 60 to 75. So you can almost see this, and I've seen aptitude papers for almost 25-30 years. तो मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, that is coming from the experience of that, and I'm quite sure CUET will fall into that pattern only as you keep coming out. So as you start preparing for it, make sure that you look for how close you can get to the 40, and once you start crossing 40, why do you stop there? If you can start crossing 40, why do you stop there? You keep going ahead, and you try to get as close to 45-50 as possible. Now, preparation-wise, I think it's pretty evident that you'll have to prepare for around 10-12 chapters in maths. You'll have to prepare for, and I'll bring separate videos for you there. Which are the chapters I feel are going to be important and how much you should practice. Around 10-12 chapters in maths you'll have to prepare. You'll have to prepare around 10-12-15 types of questions in reasoning. And current affairs and general awareness, थोड़ा तो देखना पड़ेगा तुमको. Current affairs last 6 months का देख लोगे तो typically जुलाई में अगर एग्जाम है तो typically 3 months before that, 2 months before that, तो मई का डेडलाइन रख लो या अप्रैल एंड का डेडलाइन रख लो. अप्रैल 22 से लेके पीछे चले जाओ फॉर 6-7 months. सितंबर 21 से अप्रैल 22 का करंट अफेयर्स देख लोगे तो you should be in a decent position to know a lot of the stuff that will ask you on current affairs, right? So I'll come back with you with more videos on this, and do check out our courses. Mindworks, which is the company where we run our courses, is also having a CUET program, a crash course for CUET, and we'll also be bringing in a year-long course for CUET very soon, immediately after the CUET 22 ends up. And we will be using our philosophies. We have a certain very clear philosophies about the way we go about our training programs, and we'll be using all those philosophies to bring out a high-quality product for the CUET 2022 aspirants. So look forward to having some of you in my classes there. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.